Long have I waited to be able to play my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck once again in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. What's up, Devastator Squad? Seto Dazu here, and we are back with some Blue Eyes White Dragon, baby. In today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at my undefeated Blue Eyes White Dragon deck for the Doom of Dimensions format. So let's go ahead and showcase the Blue Eyes White Dragon. All right, Devastators, so it's time to show some Blue Eyes White Dragon decks on the channel once again. It feels so nice to finally have some physical cards again for me to be playing the TCG. I have only been playing digital Yu-Gi-Oh since like May, so it's so nice to be able to actually sit down and play the game again with physical cards. Now make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and then let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of Blue Eyes White Dragon in the Doom of Dimensions format? So this is just one of a number of Blue Eyes White Dragon decks I've been cooking up since I've been able to play physical cards again. This is the one I just recently took Undefeated to at a tournament, so I'm so stoked to show this deck with you guys today. It's got a lot of really cool spicy cards, so I'm so excited to showcase this one. All right, Devastator Squad, so first things first, the Blue Eyes cards. Now this isn't a Blue Eyes White Dragon, this is a token that one of my Patreon subscribers sent to me, so big thank you to you, my friend. I've been loving this thing. This has been such a cool card to play as a token. Got 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yes, you heard me right, 3 copies. We are finally maxing out on the card, channeling our inner Kaiba, and there's only one main reason why we're doing this, because we're playing the man, the Kaibaman, Kaibaman the Legend at 3 copies. This card is absolutely bonkers. It truly blows my mind that more people are not only sleeping on Blue Eyes right now, it just got top 8 at a YCS, for crying out loud. This deck is still so good. This card is so underutilized. I just can't believe it. Like, this card is crazy. When Kaibaman the Legend is normal or special summoned, it lets you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from anywhere. That's crazy. It's an immediate level 9 Synchro because he himself is a tuner monster. Also, when he's in the graveyard and a Blue Eyes White Dragon is special summoned, he can banish himself to search for any Blue Eyes monster. So because of that, we are able to play Blue Eyes Jet Dragon so much more effectively in this deck, because you can literally search this card on either player's turn with the effect of Kaibaman in the graveyard. So gotta play the Jet. 3,000 bodies, so easy to summon in this deck. There's so many ways to destroy cards, not just by battle, but with card effects on both players' turns. So the Jet is just so powerful. It gives you protection on all your cards from being destroyed, and he bounces stuff off the board when it does battle. It's just a great card, and it's searchable. All right, then we've got our 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. Of course, you got to play this card as our best starter card. Kaibaman is also a really strong starter card too. I guess you can kind of mix and match them. I prefer to do Sage first if I have the ability to do Sage first, but obviously Kaibaman is still a powerful card. But Kaibaman displays a little bit more into Fuva losses right away, whereas Sage doesn't. But we've got 3 copies of Maiden of White as well. We have to play 3 copies of this card. There's literally no reason to ever cut this card down from 3. All right, next up we've got our Spells and Traps with the Blue Eyes. Of course, Mausoleum of White. We need the second normal summon so much in the deck. Obviously, I'm going to allude to it. We are playing Primite cards still. Why wouldn't you? So we want to have the second normal summon for the Blue Eyes cards if we start with Ether Barrel. We also want the second normal summon for a Sage or a Kaibaman, so we can just keep on cooking the field as far as we possibly can, because you can end on just ridiculous fields with this deck. Then we've got the Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Just 2 copies in this version. I'm not electing to play 3. I really don't think you need 3 unless you're just really concerned about consistency, but the deck is honestly really consistent as it is. I mean, aside from the bricky hands, of course, it's Brick Eyes, right? We've got the 1 copy of Roar. Roar is so much more broken in this deck because you play good old Jet. You can summon Jet out of the deck with this card. If you control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, Roar can not just only summon Blue Eyes, but he can summon Blue Eyes monsters. So you can not only summon back the Jet, you could also special summon back your spirits from the graveyard. Then we've, of course, got True Light. It's True Light. It's such a powerful card. It gets everything going. And then we got the Majesty of Blue Eyes, and this card is really good in this deck because you can get all 3 of your Blue Eyes in rotation on first turn most of the time, so you'll be able to have a triple pop in this build. All right, so next up are the Primite cards. We still want to play these cards. They are way too good to ignore. So first off, we've got 3 copies of Primite Dragon Ether Barrel. Obviously, we want to see this card as much as humanly possible. The Primite engine is just so crazy, so we definitely want this card. And always, because it's a dragon, so we can just link away into the Link 1 to get us our field spell, and then play Blue Eyes combo after that. It's just such a stupidly good card. I am electing to play this guy, the Imperial Dragon. Reason for this card is because it is a blowout. If you resolve this in the right board states against Yummy and against Dragontail and a number of other decks. This card is a quick effect. During your opponent's turn on the main phase, you can tribute a normal monster you control, obviously a blue eye, so easy to summon off of like True Light, you know, it's so free. You tribute it, and then on the summon of this card, it negates all card effects your opponent controls and banishes all of their monsters who have a shared attribute or typing with a normal monster in your graveyard. Blue Eyes White Dragon is a light dragon. Wow, what are lights and also dragons currently in the format? Oh, all the Yummy cards are light. Sweet. Oh, most of the Dracotail cards are dragon. Sweet. So this card is really, really nasty, dude. Not only just for the negating portion is good in like any situation versus any deck, but being able to just banish all their monsters is pretty good. All right, next up we got 3 copies of Lordly Load. We wanted to see this card as much as humanly possible to search the barrel and friends. We are playing 1 copy of Primite Drill Beam. I was on 2 originally, but I wanted to test out for this most recent tournament another card, which is Primite Fusion. This card lets you fusion summon a dragon by shuffling the materials from the field, graveyard, or banishment back into the deck. And if that's not cool enough, you could banish the card from the graveyard to just literally search for the Imperial Dragon. This card facilitates a lot of nasty stuff because of the fusions that you can summon with this card. We'll get to those when we get to the extra deck later in the video, but highly recommend playing this card. It's very, very nice. All right, last but not least, hand traps. Still got quite a lot of them. You know, it's modern Yu-Gi-Oh! You got to play like a million hand traps. We got the 1 effect Veiler. Card searchable. So like I really don't see the need to play a lot of copies of this card. I'd rather play other hand traps because this card is searchable. We are on triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. It's still just a very, very powerful card, so you might as well max out on it if you have the space to. Definitely playing 3 copies of her. I was crying about this card to people to play like 6 months ago. Like, you better start playing Bell. Get ready for Bell. This card's gonna be crazy. And here we go. Everyone's playing Bell, right? Card is insane. Very, very powerful. It stops literally like every single deck in the game that is currently like competitive. So you might as well play it, man. Then, of course, we got triple copies of Fuvalos. I was back and forth between maining Fuvalos or Droll. I decided to side deck the Drolls for the tournament, and it was fine. I mean, this card is very flexible. If you don't want to play it, you can just literally just play Droll instead. Droll is broken in the format. It shuts off like half of the decks entirely. Fuvalos, though, is still really, really good card. All right, next up, we've got 3 copies of Dominus Purge. Dominus Purge is cracked still. I mean, the card is broken in this deck. You have so many negligible like downsides to the card, like literally just Ash Blossom. Every other card effect or monster will be able to activate and resolve after purges from the hand. Plus, being able to reset the card off of Tyrant is pretty good. And the last 2 cards to make it 42 cards, because I wanted a couple more hand traps, was Infinite Impermanence. Obviously, this is also cool because it's a great combination with the Purge. You can imperm something and then purge, and then it'll destroy the card that was trying to search because you have the trap in the grave. But obviously, the hand trap lineup is flexible based off of your preference, but that's it for this main deck. Let's go and get into the extra deck. All right, so next up is the extra deck. First off, we've got to play the Neo Blaze Ultimate. We want this for the Witches, for the free, you know, target protection, and of course, it's a free Tyrant Dragon as well. So definitely playing that. I'm playing 2 copies of Tyrant Dragon. In my most, I think, like last builds, I was going up to 2 Tyrants. I just think it's so powerful to play this card. It's very, very, very relevant right now, especially because you're also siding in a lot of trap cards that are really broken. So yeah, and there's like, because we're playing Primate Fusion, there's also additional ways to fusion summon this card outside of just its tag effect or the roar. So very, very, very good. And because we're playing the Primate Fusion, we're playing 2 additional fusion monsters. So we've got Secretarian Dragon and the good old Berzelius. So both these cards are really, really great. They floodgate kind of sort of certain decks in the format. Berzelius is honestly most powerful against the Yummy deck. While this card is face up on the field, it just negates the effects of all of your opponent's monsters who have levels, exceed ratings, link ratings, etc. that equal or are less than the number of normal monsters that you have in your like field and graveyard and stuff. So usually in this deck, you'll have at least 2 on the end of your turn. So this card will be able to basically shut down every single link 2, rank 2, level 2 monster. So against something like Yummy, if they're not playing Mitsurugi cards, then they're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Against you at all. Then we've got Secretarian. Secretarian is another floodgate card. You would make this against your mirror match or obviously against Dracotail, because while this card's face up on the field, it just negates the activated effects of special summon spellcasters and dragon monsters, which is pretty nasty. Okay, next up are the synchros. We've got 2 copies of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Obviously, we want to play this. You could play 3 if you have the space for it, but there's no space currently in this extra deck. All right, so next up, we got the good old Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. And the card's just really good. Really good card. I love it so much. Then we're playing the Moonlight Rose Dragon still. It's still a good card. I mean, you can tag out to this card and you can get either of the like conditions off because there's level 5 and higher monsters in the format quite frequently. So you can get the bounce off of the special summons or the level 5 or higher. So this is still very relevant. And of course, we got this guy, the Ancient Fairy Life Dragon. This is an OTK card. It's so simple to just with a spirit and a blue eyes, right? I mean, of course, the last synchro is going to be our Lightstorm Dragon. It still blows my mind this card hasn't got an OTS Super. Come on, Konami, upgrade my common for me. All right, next up, we got one Exceed monster, the Indigo Eyes. I'm choosing to play this card because it's really powerful. It's won me a lot of games. People just don't see it coming. When this card is Exceed Summon, it just negates everything on the field that your opponent has. Literally every card. And then once per turn, you can detach material from it to special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon back, and then it gets 1,000 attacks, so it becomes 4K. So this card just helps you just win games so much simpler. But being able to just negate all your opponent's stuff is pretty cool, just with like 2 vanilla Blue Eyes White Dragons, you know? So it's pretty nice. And then last, we got our Link monsters. We got 2 copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. You could play 3 copies of this if you really need to. If you're not going to play like Primite Fusions and stuff like that, obviously you probably would want to max out on this card right now. And then our last one is, of course, the Hieratic Seals of Heavenly Spheres. Just probably the best like Dragon Link monster that you can make. All right, so now it's time for the side deck. First off, we got our Nibiru token because we are playing Nibiru in here. Spoiler alert. Might as well get that out of the way first. Yes, we are playing 3 copies of Nibiru. Card is still relevant. I mean, it's still good. You don't want to play it against like Arthalion and friends because it will trigger their effects. You don't want to play it against Mitsurugis because it'll trigger their effects. It's tributing, but against like other stuff that aren't playing those, this card is still very powerful and nasty. So there's really no reason to not play Nib. We got 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Again, like I was saying, you could just main deck this card instead of Fuvalas and just side the Fuvalas. Don't even play Molcharmies in the main deck if you don't want to, but I think the Drolls are good in the side because some matchups it's not that effective and Fuvalas will be a little better. It's just a little more of a generic card. And we've got 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. This I think is the best going second card in the game right now, that it doesn't require you to do anything. Droplet is also really good, but in this deck, your card economy is pretty low, so you don't want it to be discarding and sending cards away. You need everything for Blue Eyes, right? You need all your cards. So Dark Ruler just makes a lot more sense. Just kind of like play 1 card and just turn off the board, or hopefully turn off the whole board. Next up, we've got our 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. I love this card too much. As long as this card legal, I just want to play it. I just love Harpy's Feather. I'm an old Yu-Gi-Oh player. But real talk, Duster does provide a lot of pressure, especially because a lot of people side Solemn Judgments and Solemn Warnings and stuff like that right now, and it's really good to also force out the Mitsurugi's Omni Negate with a Duster, and then you can just follow up with a Drill Beam. It's pretty cool. Then I got 2 copies of D-Barrier in here. D-Barrier is broken. We'll cry about it all we want, but it is literally the most powerful card in the format for sure, or definitely like top 3. Everyone's playing this card. It turns off every deck. And then last but not least, we got some Solemn cards. Basically, you're treating this as like a pseudo triple Solemn Judgment package. 1 Judgment and double Warning. Judgment is self-explanatory, right? It stops everything, but the warnings are the next best thing to follow up with. For the main reason is it can stop the summoning of cards via effects of cards, not just monsters like Strike, but spells and traps too. So being able to have basically 3 ways to negate Mitsurugi Ritual and Obedient School and Branded Fusion and etc, right? This is really nice to be able to do. So the Solemn Warning plays a lot of really well into just being able to stop the spells as well as monsters themselves and effects that summon cards. All right, Devastators, that's going to do it for my undefeated Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile for the Doom of Dimensions format. Make sure to like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and watch some other awesome videos across the channel. And I want to give a huge special shout out to all the members of the Patreon, especially our Dictators of Devastation, Y-Wing Guy, Larry, Quinn, Savvy, Captain Trips, Puppy Pack, The Jazz, our Moon Tier Zephyros, our Monkeys of D Pepsi, and Galactic, and our Kings of Devastation, Cerberus, Condor FJ, Miguel, and my mom. And a big shout out to all the channel members, the Kaibamans, especially our Tier 2s, Puppy Pack, Larry, and Main Phase 1. Mom, thank you so much for being one of my Kings of Devastation. I love you so much. Devastator Squad, you guys are the best. Can't wait to see you in the future videos and live streams to come. And until then, stay awesome.